What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of King's Creations with Nick. Now, y'all know I could not allow this holiday season to go by without dropping my sweet potato pie recipe. Now, this recipe has been in my family for decades or for generations, and I put my own little spin on it. But as y'all can see, these pies came out amazing. So, before we get into today's content, let's drop that intro. All right, everyone. So, as some of you may know, I like to go through the ingredients before we start baking. And so, starting off, we have 6 large sweet potatoes. Also, moving on here, we have 4 pie shells. So, we will be baking 4 pies today. And these are the Pillsbury deep dish brand of pie shells. We're also going to be using some evaporated milk, some eggs, unsalted butter, all-purpose flour, baking powder, sugar, nutmeg, ground cinnamon, pure vanilla, and brown sugar. And so that's all the ingredients we're going to be working with. We're gonna look at the equipment that we're going to be using, and then we're going to get into the baking. Okay, so here's the equipment that we're going to be using today. As you see, we have some measuring cups and some measuring spoons. Back here, we have our mixing bowl. We also have our hand mixer, not our stand mixer. We have an immersion blender that's going to really help us puree those sweet potatoes. We have a whisk, and we have our potato peeler. And so it's very simple. And so now we've done that. Let's get started on sweet potatoes. All right, family. So we're going to get started on our sweet potatoes. So as you see here, I have my potato peeler, and I'm just going to go ahead and peel these potatoes. And so before I did that, I rinsed these off thoroughly. Now, some of you may opt into roast your sweet potatoes in the oven. I did that last year. You can do it any way you want. I know that normally when I roast them, I set the oven to 400 degrees. I put the potatoes in there for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then once you take them out the oven and they be able to cool down, it's easy to peel off the skin. But for the sake of time and for this video, we're going to be boiling our potatoes. And so what I'm going to do is finish peeling the rest of these potatoes, and then we're going to come back when we start to cut them up to get them ready for the stove. So we'll be back. Okay, everyone. So we have peeled our potatoes, and what I did was I went ahead and rinsed those off for a second time, and now I'm just cutting these up so we can get them ready to start boiling. And so the reason I'm cutting them up the way I am is because cutting them up allows the potatoes to become tender just a little quicker, allow them to get done a lot quicker. And so I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up. I'm going to place them in water, put a little salt into the water, and then allow them to boil until they're tender. And so, as I stated before, if you choose to roast your potatoes, you can set your oven to 400 degrees. They can roast for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then you're gonna probably need another 30 minutes ish for those potatoes to cool off before you start to peel them and get ready to puree them. And so we're gonna go ahead and put these on the stove, and we'll be back once they're done and once we start to puree our potatoes. All right, so we are back. As you see, here's our sweet potatoes. I allowed this to cool for about 10 minutes, but as you see, it's still a lot of heat on these potatoes. But we're gonna go ahead and start pureeing them. And so what I did was place them in my mixing bowl, and I'm using my hand mixer to start blending them up. And so some people will choose to use a blender, like a food processor, to blend it and puree it. But I don't have a food processor right now, and so what I'm gonna do is use my hand mixer to start mixing them, and then I have this immersion blender that's gonna help me actually blend it up a little bit more, and that's gonna help us get all those strings out because, as you know, sweet potatoes do have a lot of strings in them, and I don't think anyone likes to have strings in their sweet potato pie, and so that's where we're gonna use the immersion blender, and so let's finish up pureeing the sweet potatoes with our hand mixer, and then we'll be back with our immersion blender. Okay, everyone. So as you see, we've pureed our sweet potatoes with our hand mixer. However, you still see that there's some lumps in the sweet potatoes. I can tell you it's definitely strings that's still in these sweet potatoes. And so that's why you want to use an immersion blender like this, or you can just use a food processor, like I said before. And that's going to really make your sweet potato smooth. It's going to get rid of those lumps. It's going to also get rid of those strings. And so I've used this. This is my first time using it on sweet potato puree, but I've used it on strawberry puree and things like that, and it really works. And so I highly recommend this one. I got this off of Amazon for like less than $40. And so now that we've pureed our sweet potatoes, we're going to start adding in our ingredients. And so you'll also notice that once we start adding our ingredients and we start really mixing our puree, things are going to get very smooth. And so we will be back. All right, family. So now that we have pureed our sweet potatoes, we're going to go in with our first ingredient, and that would be unsalted butter. And so what I did was melt this butter in the microwave and let it cool. And now I'm putting it into our puree. And so this is 2.5 cups of melted unsalted butter. The recipe I'm going to put in the description is for 2 pies, but as I stated before, for this video, we're making 4 pies. And so I just doubled the recipe. And so in the description, it will state you will use 1 1/4 stick of butter. And so just keep that in mind when you're watching this video that this recipe was doubled. And so now that I've put that into our puree, I'm just going to give that a good mix with our hand mixer. And you just want to make sure that every time you put in a ingredient that you mix it well. So now we're going to go in with 1 cup of evaporated milk. In the description, it will state a 1/2 cup of evaporated milk. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and give this a good mix. And just trust the process when you're mixing it. The sweet potatoes is going to always be somewhat thick. It's not going to be so runny. But make sure that you have your stand mixer or hand mixer on a medium speed just to prevent any mess. And so what we're going to do is go ahead and finish mixing this, and then we'll be back when we add in our eggs. All right, y'all. So now it's time to add in our eggs. We're adding in 4 large eggs. As I stated before, this recipe is doubled. And so you see me add in 4 eggs here on this video. However, in the description, you will see only 2 eggs. And so make sure that if you're using this recipe for 2 pies, you would just add in 2 eggs. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give this a stir. And after this, once we're done doing this, then this is where we're going to start adding in all of our other ingredients, our flour, our sugar, brown sugar, and all that good stuff. And so we'll be back. All right, so we're going to start with our all-purpose flour. And so we're going to be adding in 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. But as I said before, this recipe is doubled. And so if you're looking at the description in the description box, or the recipe in the description box, you will see only 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. All right, so that's our third tablespoon of all-purpose flour. So now we're going to move on to our baking powder. And so we're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. But if you're following the recipe, once again, it will only be a 1/2 teaspoon. All right, so now that we've added in those, we're going to go ahead and give this a quick mix. And the reason we add in all-purpose flour is it gives the pie structure. It's going to thicken up the puree. It's going to give the pie structure to prevent the pie from being runny. And so that's why we add that in. Then for baking powder, that's a leavening agent. So we want to make sure we add a little bit of that in. All right, so now that we've incorporated those, we're going to add in our sugar. And so we're going to be adding both brown sugar and white sugar. And so this is 1 cup of light brown sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a mix with our a hand mixer. And brown sugar is gonna this slightly darken the puree. That's fine. Some people don't like that. Some people just use white sugar, but I like to use brown sugar because brown sugar also adds moisture and it just gives that little umph and taste. And so right here, this is 3 cups of white sugar. So we're gonna add that in, and then we're gonna give this a mix. And so some people may take issue with how much sugar I'm adding. It is what it is. This is the recipe that I was taught, and I love it. And so, if you don't feel comfortable adding as much sugar, you don't have to add as much. But just follow the recipe if you want exactly how I have it here. So we'll be back. All right, family. So we're gonna add in our last 3 ingredients, and that's gonna be our flavorings. And so we're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So as I said before, this is a doubled recipe, and so if you're making 2 pots, it would just be a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. So next, we're going to add in our nutmeg. Now, nutmeg is a potent spice, and so depending on whether you like nutmeg or your tolerance for it, you can add in more. But we're going to add in just 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. All right, so now we've added that. Last but not least, we're going to go in with our ground cinnamon, and we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. That's our first teaspoon, and then our second. So now that we have added in our flavorings and spices, we can go ahead and give this our last mix with the the hand mixer. And after you mix it up, this will be a great time for you to do your taste test to make sure that it tastes how you want it to taste. If not, just go ahead and add that ingredient in there and give it a quick mix. But I went ahead and taste this, and it tastes exactly how I want it. And so we'll be back when we get our pie shells and start putting in our sweet potato puree into our shells. We'll be back. All right, family. So we are done with our sweet potato puree or sweet potato pie filling, however you want to call it. As you see, it's silky, it's smooth. I've done my taste test, and it has everything that I'm looking for. Is that great taste from the nutmeg, the vanilla, the cinnamon. You can taste all the buttery undertone. You can taste all of it. And so once you've done your taste test, you can go ahead and start filling your pie shells. Make sure that you put your pie shells out. You keep them frozen, but then probably about the night before you start baking, just take them out and have them set out at room temperature, just to make sure that they're properly thawed before you start baking. And so go ahead and fill your pie shells close to the top. You don't want to overfill it because it will spill over in the oven and start creating mess at the bottom, and then there'll be a lot of smoke. And so just be aware as how much sweet potato pie filling you're putting into your shells. And so try to get as much try to fill them as equally as possible. As you see here, the last two didn't quite have as much, but you can always scoop out some from the other two because kind of make sure that they're equal. And so I've already preheated my oven to 350. It's going to take about maybe 45 minutes to 60 minutes for these pies to get done. You can test them by inserting a toothpick through the middle, and as long as it comes out clean, not with a lot of wet batter, then they're done. So I've gone ahead and shake them to level them off. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the oven, and then we'll be back when everything is done. All right, family, here's the finished product. These baked for almost an hour, and this is how they turned out. I don't have a video of me cutting into them, but just to let y'all know, these came out amazing. And so, as I said before, I post the description with the ingredients in the description box. Utilize this recipe for your next holiday party, and thank you all for watching. Once again, we want to thank you all for watching this episode of King's Creations with Nick here on Monarch Entertainment Studios. We greatly appreciate your continued support for this channel and our 2 shows. So as we are approaching Christmas, we want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. There will be some great videos dropping by the end of this week. And so keep a lookout for that. But until next time, good night from the Queen City.